So, I wanted to talk about the intensity in the air with just the Scorpio planets alone. That touches off whatever Pluto's doing because Scorpio's ruled by Pluto. And Pluto, as we all know, is at 28, the very end degrees of Capricorn. It's making its last trek through that sign, and it won't be in that sign anymore for a long time, and it will be in Aquarius for the next 20 years. And it's really a daring time, which brings to mind the title, which might be understood this way, is the Brave New World. You have to be brave if you want to go on the good side. The potential of the human evolutionary process and your own, your own potential. Um, this experience is like, oh, okay, so it's a short life, but what are we here to do? Well, with the age of knowing, Aquarius, it says, I know. It's literally, now they say that, oh, we're going to bring back the ancient wisdom and the ancient knowledge and the stuff. And it's like, no, it's just stuff that's already been here, yes, and it's accessible, a way to do whatever and however, all of it. It's so, uh, like they say, there's many limitless ways to skin a cat. And So we're talking about just creation and how we do things here, civilization, and but the I know points at a field of information that in fact is called something that believe it or not, we have words that already connect to this, called the truth. Truth. Then, but now it brings, now this words that come up now, light, capital L, light, the light, which is very controversial because then the word Lucifer is associated with that. And then well, yeah, Lucifer, okay, Lucifer, everyone's like, oh, it's scary for people. And it's like, but it means light. It's pretty much, if you look it up, it means light. And then, but then there's Satan. Satan will have it that you just don't know what Lucifer is. Satan wants you to be completely confused about words, especially, Hans. God, is this Sunday? I am dead serious. Especially about words. Satan wants you confused about the mind. That, okay, words come with the mind. It's a very interesting PC. We have the ability to communicate, and we have downloads coming from somehow, but the communications is so interesting. The fact that everybody has to, and I mean it, you have to look and investigate on your own, just kind of open your eyes a little bit. Have you noticed that everybody on the globe, African, Chinese, Guam, fucking Eskimo, wherever they are in the world, they have to see, it seems to be like a standard that they have to learn English. It's not a very popular thing to do the opposite. Like, well, let's learn Chinese, but it's certainly the Chinese. It's kind of shocking, but you'll see a Chinese person. I've already kind of said this. Um, and it's good to say things over and over again. I got to remember that. Yeah. You can hear a Chinese person speaking more clearly than an English person in the English dialect. And it's like, dang, this is remarkable. They have to. So the point being is that for some reason, the global population is now looking at the alphabet, which is an interfacing system sent down from benevolent beings who live in outer space. In fact, the races represent certain kind of elements here to have a creation of creation. It's kind of something we need to look into, whether or not where it's happening, and how human beings are interwoven in the whole matrix of matter, let's say. What is it? Science has already come up with some things. Well, what we're really saying with that is that, basically there's something already there, but there's a club of people, or an intelligence on this plane, who isn't going to go away from just plainly seeing. This is what we are noticing. And see, the thing is we can't notice it without our observational selves. And so we have to include the human being as being an intrinsic, like, oneness of the entire experience of reality. I mean, that's just science that points back and says, gosh, well, but then how is it happening? Through vibrational frequency. If you really kind of tear the brains apart, I mean, you can just see it's just electrodes and something going on there. It's like, okay. The question, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody is there, does it make a sound? And see, you could just kind of think about it, which I've had like probably 20 years, but really it was a cram of the last 3 years of thinking about it. No, it was more like 8 years. Lost a lot of friends, by the way, and I stick to this. No, it doesn't make a sound unless there's a pair of ears there. And then I kind of once said, without explaining very deeply, and I could probably do it. I could back myself into this corner, paint myself into it, and all of a sudden you're like, well, how are you going to get out? It's like, well, there's a door over here. Watch. Whip! Hi! And you didn't see that? Well, too bad. I painted it on. um, Does it make a sound? No, unless there's ears there, and we wouldn't have anything to look at. We wouldn't see what we see unless there was a pair of eyes. What I'm saying is, like, there wouldn't be the light show unless there was eyes. We wouldn't taste unless there wouldn't be a taste unless we could taste it. You know what I'm saying? There wouldn't be a sound unless we can hear it, unless there's an ear to hear it. I say ears create sound. Eyes create what we're seeing. Our taste, and this definitely contradicts everything I've ever said, because, babes, the contradiction comes from having elevated. If you look at it, it's like a spectrum, as above, so below, but it's going this way in a reversal kind of thing. It's like, no, you need to learn. You need to learn a lot, but then once you learn, boom, it's the same. You are now accepting of the fact that while this is not bad, the thing that we saw that we thought was good is actually bad. The thing that we thought was actually good, and to try to maintain positivity. And it's like, babes, in reality, there's a positive and negative to all things. It's equally. And if you do not look at that negative side, you're not reliable as something real to be reliable. I mean, the kids, really, they're going to have a question after a while. It's like, well, what is the benefit of this particular, what appears like the question, like, well, death or some kind of immense tragedy or something. I mean, if you can look at it that way, but really, I'm just going to nature, and death is usually the one thing. It's like, well, I'm looking at compost. It's the most healthiest thing to happen is just leave it there. Start mixing it around, and then another seed comes out of it. I don't know. The more you have of that, the more chances. I don't know. We're talking about garden now. Uh, and that's where we're finishing up with the Scorpio planets. Is it's still, Halloween. That's the issue, is like the harvest time where everything looks like it's just falling. It's called fall, and it's like, everything turns into a skeleton, and it's receding. It's a period of introspection, receding. I think up until Thanksgiving or something like that. I heard somebody else talking about it, but no, astrologically, it's all sound. The darkness starts at Libra. Libra, the sign, the symbol, it shows the sun. What it is, it's the setting sun. The setting sun, it's going into. Now, it makes me think of, if it was to set, it would just be the equal sign. And that's what Libra represents, is just this ability to see both sides as equals, and we use that to create balance, simply. And that's what we're working. That's how we're able to do music very well. It's actually created by space, a non-sound. That's what how music is now forming, is from space. Silence creates music, not the tones, but the silence in between. And it's arguable that a real live musician, a live playing musician, is a specialist in having he's playing with that silence and he's bringing attention to that silence, in fact. Pardon me while I check what's happening. Yeah. Ah. Pardon me, but yes, ever since those fences went up in my yard, it's weird how well I do harbor wildlife. All of a sudden, I'm going to probably get in trouble for harboring wildlife, and I feel like I have to go to court and say, by the way, no, I live in a wilderness area, and I'm pretty sure it's a wilderness preservation area. Now, I'm not saying that I take it upon the Forest Service job, but I don't abuse. I try and harmonize and accept that the wildlife is here. That's why I live here. I don't know. Chalk that up. Maybe there's a time that we can agree that maybe some people should be only allowed to qualify to live in these places, because what happened over there, today I should call and really speak to them like a robot. Say, well, I need to speak to the person and tell them that I'm about ready to go to court, and because there's a lot going on, and this is basically not right to tell me that there's something unfounded, when in fact, if you fucking rub your eyes and come and look, a child can see that there's a material set down here that is, in fact, it's an environmental it's a health hazard, and it's an environmental pollution, and that they can't deal with it. I'm going to have to call them. It's going to be either today or tomorrow. If they can't deal with it, then I'll have to take it myself to higher courts of law, because I'm being abused. All across the board. I've felt some strange. See, I might be going through some strange change of my life or something, but health-wise. But it's, boy, here it is. Okay, it's sad for him. It's ironic that it's happening right when he pours that asphalt down, and some other things too. And it's like, oh, I'll keep that in perspective. But no. See, I'm just being nice. I can't. My eyes itch like this. This little itch, like it feels like they're drier. Ever since that, babes, I can only smell that asphalt, trying to get a breath of fresh air, and that's what we're doing in the mountains. But this fucking asshole did that, and I have to go to court and say how upset I am, and how distraught, and how I feel, and who I am, and all this stuff, and say, please listen, because I have had a report come out of me. They called the sheriff just to gossip or whatever, and it's like, I need to go in there in person and just report and say, look, and we need to include that I'm trying to get this done, to get them at least fined for having acted irresponsibly in this area. It needs to happen, and please help me. Help whoever is trying to get this done, that we should stop the poisons from happening from this side of the west of the Mississippi. Do not be so ignorant. To try to be more present than to use weed killers. Just find some way to balance out the whole ecology with other plants and other things, and being more present, or hand it to somebody who can. Give it to a Native American, somebody who walks around in fucking a cloth and can care less about your ego, but I'm going to sit and weed and care for the ladybug chimney, and my whole entire fucking tribe is going to be doing this. I don't know, babes. People can be trained to do a better thing, and that's what I'm saying. These people need to be punished for thinking that that is the right way to be here. Forever. They should be shocked treatment away from thinking that it's right to say, we can do anything we want on our property, huh? Number one, in the city, people don't live that obliviously to the fact that they're just close together. They mind their own business, but they know that they can hear each other. They kind of see each other. They have to work out civil matters on their own. I mean, they can't always just call the police on each other. That's not realized up here. It's doing worse up here. But then in prisons, 100%. You cannot do anything without knowing, just as just it dawning on you that everybody, you can't fart without somebody else hearing it and smelling it. And if you can't do something, you cannot do something pollutant or harmful to yourself or that will harm other people without being put into solitary confinement. Now, what's happening up here, what has happened as far as that's what I associate it with. And that can't be allowed, and they're saying it can because they can do anything they want. And it's like, no, not even jailhouse people snap into that kind of mentality naturally. You don't even have a natural mentality, and it needs to be punished with what? Solitary confinement, something like that, some kind of shock. That solitary confinement is supposed to be a punishment inside of a world where I'm thinking, no, please send me into a fucking vault in the daytime because I want nothing to do with whatever thinks it's a civilization out there. So, because the hours of 2 in the morning to 6, I've never felt so much more peace and understanding of a lot of things that I can possibly share with people. But when that mental noise, and I can only tell you that I know that for a fact that this is happening with civilization, that something is programming it to just start vibrating out of the ground. Now it makes it up to the mountains and it's fucking doing this shit. Just really, it's people uh, doing something. It's unprogramming. It's like whatever it is, it's so disharmonious from one household to the next, even, and that's what's here. As a grid, it's just got to be like that. By the time anybody thinks that there's a civilization here, it's a frothing death trap, basically. Like I'm trying to talk about with my with the fact that the fencing that they put up. Oh God, it's hideous. I didn't even fucking make a big deal. I guess I'm just going numb to this person. Like, okay, I had to this person continually. As a carpenter, you'd think I could be impressed by the way he slapped up a fence, I guess. But he put the fence up over the first fencing. Now I'm looking at this double layer. It's like, well, I get to look at this shitty fucking work. He just leaves the other wire there. But he has the flat side, and it's a beautiful fence, but not the fact that it's left there. I'm scratching my head and go, why do I even have to contemplate this? And I ask a person, would you have left that fencing there? I mean, you know how to put fencing up. Would you have left it there, or would you take it down? And he said, no, I would have taken it down. And I said, I know, me too. It wouldn't be that hard of work, right? It's just a little time, you rip it away, and then now you're doing the longer work of slatting it together. Uh, he went through all of that work and did a shitty job on my side, and to me, it's like, that person is a demon. Did he do that for me? Is that what I get? I think so. If I was an Aquarius in the Aquarius age, that's why you get pissed at these people, and you just know, oh, that's a demon, they're on the dark side. Why? Because they probably did that. Well, it's on their side. I'm not going to see it. I don't care. What about other people? Do you not care about that? That is a fucking geometric mess, and I am sensitive to that. And in the court of higher law, like I'm saying, you could be put in solitary confinement for threatening my. It causes me brain damage to even, first of all, to even contemplate why would somebody do that as workmanship. It's a and also in an environment where I have living things here, getting trapped now inside of that shit when it pisses me off. So I need to get rid of that stuff because I did just have a hawk here now. It's bad enough that they're now. I just hope that those quails stay clean away from that fencing because right in between, it's like this close that there is wiring, cheap fucking wiring, fencing first to keep a dog out, and then he puts this board there, and animals can get under there. It just the thought of it, I want it taken care of. I want to get rid of it, and I sent them back. Thanks for listening to all this. I sent them back the earphones because honestly, babes, I won't listen to it. I don't have enough going on with that right now. I doubt if they're the kind of earphones I would end up needing. Maybe they are, but right now I'm sorry. I'm just not doing it. I feel like I'm in an emergency of just needing good people in my life that could help me with that. Yeah. That wasn't really what that was. That was an asshole slapping me in the face before nailing something up, saying, "Here, put your earphones on." And I made a fucking clear little message that I think it was fine. It was all right. It's fine. Um, just saying, and I consider myself a master, and I'm going to fucking put a sign up again saying, just master, Zen master, yes, and you don't take this. You can't take reality away, and you can't take the truth away, and I'm having to scratch at the truth of what you are, which is poor workmanship. The fence now, he puts another fence on. Oh, God, I can just go on. I don't care. Really, they made it to where it's like, of course, put your fence up, and I don't care what you do on your property as long as it doesn't fucking isn't toxic. I will say something, and that's what I did. I raised my voice. I get the sheriff called on me. I get a bully scene, a bunch of bullies that think that they're right and righteous to just bully me around. They came on my property, and anyway, that all has yet to still just hash out that, first of all, the fact is they're wrong for having done what they done. Because it's just not conscientious. If I'm this intent and living in intention up here and intense about it, then that's what we need to keep sanctuaries where I swear to God, I can't breathe a breath of fresh air. And everybody keeps saying, it's going to dissipate, it's going to dissipate. Yeah, into my lungs and my neurons and make me sick and shit first. Yeah, into the environment and absorb. That's just what you're saying. Can we not do that to the Virgin? Yeah, the Virgin's going to clean it up. Well, can we not do that? She also can get cancers and stuff and say, there, thanks for letting me process it out for you. Boy, hey, it's totally unnecessary. Totally preventable. And that is a wreck. It's a fucking mess of a human existence, really. People that, what I see, babes, is like some people belong here and other people don't. But they give themselves the right and they entitle themselves. They're doing something. It turns out that the people that over there, they own the hardware store that I've always went to, but now I recognize they're retarded looking, by the way. A lot of people are to me. It's like, well, do you realize that you have Down syndrome? I don't know. Sorry, excuse me. I love handicapped people, Down syndrome people anyway. But I'm not really what you think you see as a bully. I do vent a lot, and of course on Facebook, and good for us. We found a therapist. We found a lot of the women have their Facebook a fucking journal right there, and how many, like 12 predators, men are there just like looking at it like they don't know how to communicate, but they're going to just gawk at somebody who knows how to communicate out in the open air. It's called a journal, and they happen to do it on Facebook. They say, "Yeah, well, today, it was rough. It was so intense. I had to move, and blah, 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 my cat and dog, and then this person, and my mother, and it's all on Facebook. Fucking 5,600 words, and well, they get a lot of likes, whatever. But it's just a journal. It's therapy. Do those people care? The thing about artists is that it's about the journey. It's not even about that accomplished like send thing. We're done with it. Boom. But somebody come back and say, you did this and that. It's like, well, get out of here. I'm working on my new thing. Are you do something today? Oh, good for you. Thanks for listening to this. I am not feeling good at all. I'm with the intensity of like what I was trying to say. It's like, but excuse me, there's stuff like really gross and weird going on due to unconscious, insensitive, unconscious fucking people. Talk about the elephants in the china shop, like my analogy for they're just, well, it's just an immature presence. It's something that is like this, that is not evolved into, yes, being human, yet a humane presence. And it's weird because it's like, well, okay, so we're just visiting this strange planet because I don't think I'm trapped here. I think they are. Whatever they are. Now let's talk about whatever money is doing. I saw a little saying, and I caught the vibe of this first before I saw it on Facebook. I caught the vibe of it first. I was like, well, how does it work? It's working. that these bullies storm over and say, but you, and mock me and make fun of me. I'm only just one person. I said, and I told them at one point, I said, will you look at this? There's 15 people making a fun of me. And you think you're righteous. You think you're right. And they said, we'll pray for you. They're like, we'll pray for you. Like, I said, you know what? I made sure. I said, you don't have the same God as I do. And it got quiet. There was a point where when I kept interacting with them, they started to, I feel how that the non-human being will shiver. They shiver with the coldest fear that scares them double time. It scares them to the point of cold sweating and fear in front of your face, and you will see an undermined something there. And that scares them, and they don't want to deal with that, so they don't want to deal with you, but they think, oh, I got you, I showed you. And really, they are dealing with their and really I'm just no, see, because I have a conscience and I'm not a perfect person. They prey on that shit. They don't have that. They don't have it. So the littlest thing. See, I told my neighbor over here, and I just realized I shouldn't have told her any of that. I told her some of my personal life and that's what has brought me kind of to a low recently, and I've been really struggling with it, so I'm doing this and that. They hold that all against you. They don't know how to heal through things and hold each other up. It's more like, oh, that's a disadvantage and that's an advantage for me, and so you're just too troubled, and that kind of thing, maybe. And that is so chicken shit. That's an unhealthy ecology out there. Not just unhealthy ecology, dangerous, diseased, the contagion also that it is. I can feel it. It's getting me to do weird things. It's like, no, Shauna, you wanted to replace, you wanted to put a better fence up, and the way you almost did it was a contagion, but you stopped yourself, and you did it the right way that you wanted to do it. It was a fucking cool way to do it. Otherwise, it would have been the way that these people are doing it. You know what I'm saying? They're a contagion with their money. It's called keep up with the Jones, right? You think, oh, you got to do what they're doing. It's like, well, you can't. First of all, you don't have the money, but like say with well, it's not going to take much for me to buy that small amount of materials to put the stupid shed, the roof back on my shed. It's just completely worn off. It's just plywood, take it off, and then there's the roofing, and then I can do it. And I'm doing it over and over in my head to where just like kind of the apple pie that I just made, it's just, well, maybe you can get on YouTube and look again how you do it. But really, I've done roofing before. So there's my YouTube right there. I've done roofing with somebody before, and I relearned, really. I've done it all before. My blood has it in me. Anyway, it's just I'm alone, and I don't like being alone. It's boring. Main thing that it has become is that I don't have anybody else fending for me or protecting me even, or the protection of love, the bubble where, yeah, sure, you can have your, Karen and John over there. I'm sorry, I love people. I never imagined I would have a Karen live next door, though, and I know that these people, they need a little help, and I'm just like, I'm a help, by the way, but let me slap you around because I know you're slapping the help around. Is that your religion, by the way? Christian, huh? Slap that help to and fro. Yep, slap it upon there and nail it to dough. Yeah, nail it to dough. Money, money, money is funny. Money, money, money is making you funny. I think you're running. You're running. I think you can't relax, and that's the facts. Woo! I think you can't relax, and that's the fact. I think you can't relax, and that's the facts. I think you can't relax, and that's the facts. All mask. It's all mask. It's all mask in a do-goody two-shoe fucking lost my hoodie and got up to the mountains and can't even get into the fountains. The trees, the bees, the birds. No, I wiped them out. I got a dog. I got a dog. I got a dog. I don't know. Sorry. That's what's happening up here. Uh, just narcissists. Like, what's the in thing to do? They'll be doing it. I wear this fucking crate on my head because I was told so to do this instead. You'll get points. You'll get points. You get points. What is that? If anything, babes, I was trying to tell you about the money, the network of just. It's not just a few people who control the world into. It's a lot. It's many, many of the rich who I'm surrounded by them who they're killing me, but I just haven't laid down and died yet. Why? How, Shauna? God, you're so extreme. No, money is a death machine. Money wants you dead. You wouldn't have it unless you were dead somehow, some way. If you accidentally got it, like I've experienced it, like oh shit, but it wants me dead. First of all, you're going to go out and think the shit that it can buy, especially at Walmart or wherever, whatever clothes they have us wearing that we're not making, that's made in China, and the fucking shit we're trying to put together and live on. You go run out and buy it for your house, blah, blah, blah. Home Depot is crap. You will be experiencing the most unsatisfying experience no matter how much fucking money you have and go out and buy your plastic fucking chrome plated shit that wears out in 2 years. If you don't go mad just looking at, if you don't, you have to dumb yourself down and go just dead. Oh yes, this fucking tool about bullshit. I love it. Yay! And you have to turn into a equal, less than that. Really, just make a big deal about that accomplished spinning hubcap. And good, I guess. But I like to say it's like, well, my physical life, it's going away. I have to be a old wretched uh, beat up fucking person. Um, but money, I can just sit like one of these people that just looks around at everybody else that are perfectly fucking healthy and fine. They're just struggling. They're probably homeless. They're young. They've got lights in their eyes. They're just dirty. They need a shower. I've been there, right? That's like all through my 30s was the hardest fucking time of my life. And I heard some other people saying that in their 20s. When I was in my 20s, I heard them saying, "Oh man, in your 30s, when you're 30, you're just going to be, it's totally a weird chaos, and then you level out around about the mid 40s again with some piece of yourself that is like, yeah, no, I got this going. I know half of something, uh, but maybe unless you've hidden into the chutes and ladders of hidden into the. Let's talk about that death cult system again. I was just talking about a process of life that is human. The other process of life that's non-human, you're not going to experience any of that fluctuation. You know, you're just going to work. You're going to do this grid thing right through it, just grind through. Other people might be going through things. Well, I'm sorry, I have to go to work. Bye. Really? Yeah, but I thought you were my dad. Aren't you my husband? No. Well, I'm going to go fuck over here. That's okay. I'm just doing this. I'm a family person, taking care of my kids. Really? Yeah, I don't see life happening. Really. I'm going to bake a pie. I'm gonna bone somebody. It's usually the woman that goes off and does that because the guy, that's really the truth. I mean, it's not the guy that cheats. He's a fucking robot. He's doing great, right? Home, honey, I'm home. Oh, you're boring. You seem kind of, well, I don't know if you noticed, but I just want your money and I fuck over here. Uh-oh. Sorry.